It's getting really well. I'm not going to say it's getting. It's really difficult to talk about the heavyweight division as a whole. Well, talk about it's difficult to talk about one fighter in the heavyweight division without talking about the whole heavyweight division landscape and where these five boxers fit in that landscape. Now, let me tell you who I am. I'm a person who does a lot of research. I have no other job. You know, what I mean, I take care of my pop, but that's about it. I have no other job outside of what I do for boxing. So I am very educated in the rules of the four major sanctioning bodies in which these fighters, in this case, we're talking about Dillian Whyte. He fought a fighter by the name of Tann in a very hilarious fight, by the way. It was the first fight in the United States. It was the first fight on the top rank card that was on ESPN. Now, a lot of people have been, I noticed a lot of people were like messaging me and everything like that, asking me where could they watch the fight as I'm sitting there watching it and, critiquing it and commentating on it on social media. So, I be busy as shit, so I don't be having time to tell people like, well, go do this and go do that and go do this. It's like, yo, like this is a job. So for people in the United States who don't know, if you had trouble watching those fights, it's because you don't know what the hell you're doing and you need to get with the time. So if you have ESPN on your cable, right, if you're able to watch ESPN, then you can get the ESPN app. So for the people who are computer illiterate, what you have to do is you have to get your login for your cable, which you use to download the apps and everything for HBO or Showtime, because if you have those channels, then you have the app. So for example, I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to do you a salad. I'm going to show you what it looks like. And then we're going to talk about the Dillian Whyte fight. But I'm trying to give you, so you can't say I never did nothing for you. So this is what it looks like, right? This is what it looks like. Looks like this. Looks like this. See what I'm saying? Looks like this. And then what I'm able to do is, where was it at? How did I get to it before? I go to boxing, right? Right? And then I'm able to, because they're on replay, I'm able to watch the whole undercard. So we're talking about Dillian Whyte, who is 21-1, only lost to, for example, is this it right here? I think this is it. This was a hilarious fight, by the way. Hilarious. Just a little bit of it right here, though. But I'm not going to show it to you, obviously. But this was a hilarious fight. The guy that he fought, and I look at it now. I'm not clowning him for fighting this guy because I understand the business and the politics of the sport. I understand, so I'm not clowning him for taking this fight because it was supposed to be like a tune-up, stay busy fight while they're fishing for like deals and trying to leapfrog this whole boxing Game of Thrones thing going on right now. So Tann is now 24-6 with 13 KOs. Now get this, listen to this. He has another fight already scheduled according to BoxRec on November the 18th against the TBA. He lost to Dillian Whyte today via crazy body shots where his ribs are probably broken, or at least he was saying that he thought according to ESPN, he was saying that he thought he broke his ribs, or they heard him say that, he think that a rib may have been cracked or broken. And dude is just not good. He's just not good on any level. So I'm thinking, okay, well, what brought this guy back to the sport? Because he's fought guys like Chris Arreola. He's fought guys like Alexander Dmitrienko. In 2007. It's 10 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. Then he took a 9-year layoff. He fought against Alexander Dmitrienko July the 14th of 2007. He came back nearly 10 years later. Well, not 9 years later. Over 9 years later, right? 9 years. That was October the 8th, 2016, to fight Nick Asbury. Then, by the way, that Asbury guy was undefeated. Beat him. That was a TKO. Then he fought a guy in July. No, wait, he fought a guy in June. This is June. So the guy came back in October. The guy came back in October after a 9-year layoff, and here he is fighting Dillian Whyte. You know, so dude was counted out twice. Or the first knockdown, what round was that? Round 2. The first knockdown, he got up just at like right before the 10 count. You know, and he just was so sloppy in the shots that Dillian Whyte was hitting him with. You can tell he just was trying to get dude out of there, and that shit just was nasty looking. But it was hilarious. I enjoyed watching it. But this was a situation where he was knocked down twice in round 2, and both of those should have been stopped. But the referee, what was his referee name? Tom Anderson, right? Vampire, rest in peace, Dan Goosen looking type referee, you know? So I'm thinking like, well, wait a minute. Like, dude, obviously don't want to fight, so you have to go back and watch the fight. Unfortunately, I can't show you the replay on here. We're going to get to that in the future. We're working on it, though. I got some new programs, but my computers have been crashing, so we got to keep upping and upping and upping the power. You know, so we're getting to a point like where not this. I'm going to get rid of this, and if I get, it's probably going to be a large flat screen, or we're going to have full graphics in the screen, in the video, real time, no lag, no nothing. So if I want to pull up, let me pull this up real quick. You know, and you will be able to see some shit pop up on like my not the screen, but what is it called? Like not where I use a green screen, but we'll be able to go over highlights and key, you know, things in fights real time, you know. And I've already made moves, and I've contacted people and met people, you know, whenever I could at like press conferences and media events to say, yo, what, you know, can you help me out, you know, Chris de Blasio, and give me some advice on, you know, what can happen if I'm, you know, fair use and all that type of shit, you know. So, the point I'm trying to make is, if you get a chance to watch this fight, I don't know if it's going to be on ESPN, or I don't know if you guys over in the UK were able to watch it, you know. But if you get a chance to watch this fight, this shit was hilarious. Now, let's get to the nitty-gritty of things. Dillian Whyte wants Deontay Wilder. He's not going to get Deontay Wilder unless some crazy magic happens and they just go for the payoff. But in order for that fight to happen, Deontay Wilder would have to go to the UK. Over here, people don't know. Hardcore fans don't know who. I mean, casual fans, we don't know who he is over here. So it was good to get him on that ESPN card. You know, it was good. You know, and just to get him over here, get him, you know, acclimated to things and start bringing him over here a little bit more in the future. But he's not going to get Deontay Wilder, just like Gerald Big Baby Miller is not going to get Dillian Whyte. You know, they're just in two different places. But Dillian Whyte is actually in a good place, because now let's get to the nitty gritty and let me try to explain to you this boxing Game of Thrones shit, because to talk about it, you can't really leave everybody out, but I don't want to spend a whole half an hour talking about it, so I'm gonna try to talk about it in like 2 to 5 minutes. Let's see how it works out. Okay, so you have Anthony Joshua, who's at the top of the hill. He's the WBA and the IBF champion. Anthony Joshua has to fight Kubrat Pulev since he's not fighting Vladimir Klitschko. Klitschko retired. He has to fight Pulev. Pulev won't allow him to fight anybody else, or he loses that title. The WBA also ordered him to fight Luis Ortiz. However, the WBA or no organization wants to strip Anthony Joshua because he's just this model citizen and he brings in a whole lot of money without, you know, like being bagged to the organizations as far as, you know, like controversy and shit. They won't strip that dude. So Luis Ortiz can talk all that shit they want. In fact, the WBA president, Gilberto Mendoza, already released a statement a couple of weeks ago. I have the email where basically they're working with the IBF to make sure that, you know, Luis Ortiz gets his shot, you know, but it can't be next. It has to be Pulev, you know. And the WBA, they flexible like that, and they don't want to lose that Anthony Joshua money. 90,000? They're not going to lose that sanctioning fee money. So you have Deontay Wilder, who's the WBC champion. His mandatory is Stiverne, but things have been a little bit quiet lately because when news came out, Stiverne didn't want Deontay Wilder to fight Anthony Joshua. If he could have, this was before the Pulev, it was determined it was going to be Pulev. Brain Stiverne didn't want him to fight Anthony Joshua, get that payday, and possibly lose, or he didn't want him to fight Luis Ortiz. But since he's working with Jay Prince, he is also working with, I believe his name is Josh Dublin, the team of Andre Ward. And what we've noticed is Jay Prince has been signing his fighters to top-ranked boxing. Brian Jennings, Shakira Stevenson, you see Andre Ward now a commentator for ESPN Top Rank events. Word is he's going to be going over there soon. So Brain Stiverne could be heading over there. That's just speculation from the way I'm seeing things. But he's still the WBC mandatory. So you have Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz who are in talks to fight, but Brain Stiverne was in the way, and Joshua Klitschko was going to happen because Klitschko wasn't retired yet. So Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz can fight each other, kill two birds with one stone, or get two birds with one stone, eliminate each other, and whoever wins that goes on to fight Anthony Joshua in likely a big fight in May. And also that'll work out for Anthony Joshua too, because them two would eliminate themselves. Then you got guys like Joseph Parker and Hughie Fury on the outskirts looking in, but not really the outskirts because they're the champion. I mean, one of them is going to be the champion and still the champion or a new champion in September. You have Eddie Hearn, the promoter of Dillian Whyte and the promoter of Anthony Joshua, met with Team Joseph Parker. That interview is here on the channel about a potential fight to make sure that they get that belt. So Anthony Joshua's goal is to be undisputed by the end of 2018 or early 2019. David Haye is also in the mix because David Haye has been meeting with Team Fury, and if Team Fury wins, then David Haye is going to get a shot. Since David Haye versus Bellew 2 is not going to happen. So where does this leave Dillian Whyte? Dillian Whyte could very possibly be ordered to fight Brain Stiverne to be the WBC interim. It could very likely happen. But he wants to leapfrog all the politics that's going on right now, and I'm sorry, bro. You just got, he's in a good place. He's in a good place. He's in a good place, but he can't go, Deontay Wilder ain't going to fight him, and then, because, in my opinion, from what we've seen from Deontay Wilder, he is good. But with that wild shit, he be leaving himself open, and, Dillian Whyte can hurt him. So even though I feel that's a 50-50-ish fight, Deontay Wilder don't want to take that chance. You see what I'm saying? Where he can possibly hold out, possibly make more by fighting Anthony Joshua. Also, Luis Ortiz being signed with Al Heyman. I'm wondering what promises was made to Luis Ortiz, and maybe that Deontay Wilder has to be delivered to Luis Ortiz behind the scenes politically. To make, Luis Ortiz happy, because he signed with Al Heyman, and I was at the press conference for the signing, and he hasn't fought since. He was supposed to fight Derek Rossi on the undercard of Porter Berto, didn't. So things are really, 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 really interesting. And it's a shame when you look at guys like Shannon Briggs and you think man, you just had to go fuck this up. You was really in the mix. Because the mix right now, as I said, is Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Joseph Parker, Hughie Fury, Luis Ortiz, Brain Stiverne, Kupret Pulev, and then really Dillian Whyte. And that's it. Then you got guys that's lower than that, like Andy Ruiz and Gerald Miller. We don't know the Alexander Povetkin, situation, and then you got that weird WBA cursed situation with Alexander Ustinov and Fresno Quindo. It's supposed to be Fresno Quindo and Shannon Briggs, but that whole weird situation is messed up. So Dillian Whyte is right there on the inside of things, and he's trying to accelerate his path, but it ain't happening. It ain't happening. Because the WBO is already sewn up with Joseph Parker, Hughie Fury, then David Haye coming in for that, and then Anthony Joshua being first in line before Dillian Whyte, and then Deontay Wilder already got a mandatory and, in talks with Luis Ortiz, but he wants Anthony Joshua. So they're not going to just, and then you got Derek Chisora that's just, coasting, I guess, because he and Dillian Whyte can have a huge, crazy fight over there for that money. You know, so Dillian Whyte's got options. He's got options. You know, he's got options, and also he a charismatic dude. That's one good thing about him is that he keeps his he keeps active on social media. So you know, his name is like relevant, and also is relevant over here. You know, and I would love to see him fight Brian Jennings, but it's not going to happen. That's why I haven't even mentioned it. I would be surprised, like if that. I would be really surprised if that happened, especially since Brian Jennings is just getting back, and Top Rank is investing a lot in him as a heavyweight. You know, so and then him and Dillian Whyte fought on the same card. You know, back to back. Dillian Whyte fought Malcolm Tann, and then Brian Jennings fought some March guy we beat up, you know. So anyway, I'm Teacher Controversy. This is Teacher Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe. All the links to my social media are right down below in the description box. Man, we're making some major moves. We in for a good fall, the best fall we ever had in the history of ever been on YouTube. You know, thank you for your patience, man. Shit is really taking off. You know, so like I said, if you don't see me at events, yo, I have people at events like everywhere now, you know? So if you're interested in helping out in any way, shape, or form, like if you go to fights, and why not go every now and then, you know, as media? You know, why not just say, okay, well, you know, I got this connection over in America, so if I ever go over to such and such, I'll probably be able to go to this fight. You know, but you're going to work. This is not no game. This media shit is not no game. You are going to work and you're going to take it seriously, but at the same time, you're going to have fun too, and I'm going to take care of you. You know, so whether you're in Lancashire, Manchester, London, Sheffield, those little hall shows, you know, HULL. You know, if you over in Australia, you know, if you in Canada, anywhere. You know, if there's fights that you be wanting to go to, and you like being around all the celebrities and all, I'm not really into that personally. If you like being around all the celebrities and all the boxes and all that, but you want to you're going to work. You know, I can't stress that enough. You're going to work. You know, but, you know, like, why not go as media? You know, it's not as hard as you think. But anyway, contact me at editor@fightview360.com. And it's EDITOR @fightview360.com. Or contact me any way you can on social media. Go up into the DMs. I don't check my DMs like that. I'm not going to lie. You know, shit is a jungle. But eventually I'll get to it. You know, we're looking for help over in the UK, definitely anywhere. We have access to Matchroom events. We have access to Box Nation events, BT Sports events. We're covering a lot of fights this fall. You know, we have access over here. We even are covering, we have somebody at Mayweather-McGregor. Thank you to the sportsmen in the UK. You know, I'm personally going to Canelo versus Golovkin. So, you know, I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe.